how to make dreams come true. In Sanskrit mantra, it is said, Sankalpa Matrin Siddhyati. When one takes resolution and gets it converted into action, or when one takes resolution, converts into action, and action converts into results. Now the thing is, when we take a sankalpa, a resolution, and that thought process, if thought process is absolute, total, complete, strong, then action has to be complete, strong, thorough, and holistic. And as action is thorough, holistic, and complete, result has to be complete. So what are the hindrances, obstacles, or things which makes the thought process weak, so that action becomes weak and result is affected accordingly? So thought emerges in the mind. So if mind is pure, mind is free from stresses, strains, guilts, and complexes, then whatever thought emerges, it is full, fresh, complete, and clear. And when something comes out from clear vision, then the process of converting into action becomes clearer, and accordingly results come, which is absolutely clear, complete, and holistic. So the thing is, the main thing which should be carefully analyzed and seen is that fertile ground wherefrom thought emerges. And because thought emerges in the mind, and mind should be pure. So what are the processes to keep mind pure? Because how mind is polluted, how mind is deviated, how mind is affected by what means, what methods, what factors, those are called stresses, strains, guilts, and complexes. And because those things are abstract values, non-matter, and because it is non-matter, so it cannot be neutralized by any medicine which is matter. So the only process to address that is something which is non-matter, and that is a process. And that process is called meditation. Because meditation takes you to that level which takes you to the source of thought, wherefrom thought emerges. And because that is the source of thought, wherefrom thought emerges, and that is the place where all the stresses, strains, guilts, and complexes can be dissolved also. Because that consciousness, that level of consciousness, that source of consciousness, it has a capability. It has a capability because that is the potential field from where thought emerges. It means all thoughts are merged there. So there are two ways. One thing is that because when we give impulse, then thought emerges from there. But there is another thought which takes you to that level, which is the level of Turiya Avastha. In Gita, it is said, Traigunya Vishyaveda, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjun. Go beyond these three gunas. Gunas means sattva-rastam, that's length, breadth, height, all three dimensional values. Go to that fourth dimension. And that fourth dimension, Traigunya Vishyaveda, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjun, and be in alliance with that level of consciousness that is called, in Gita, it is said, Traigunya Vishyaveda is Traigunya Bhavarjun. Then what you do? Yogastha Kuru Karmani. Be in alliance with that level. With what? With that which is Shivam, Shantam, Advaitam, Chaturtham Manyante, Sa Atma Savigyeya. So that is the fourth level of consciousness. That is Shiva Tattva. That is Atma Tattva. And that is to be known. And because that is to be known, it means that is the process. And that process is the science and technology of consciousness through which one reaches to that level, which is the source of all thought. And that is the Turiya Avastha. And that has the capability, if something wrong, some stresses, strains, guilts, and complexes, that is the only field where all these negativities, they merge and vanish forever. That is because that is vacuum, that is nothingness, but that is the potential of everythingness. So when we take dip in meditation, when we do meditation and we take dip into that transcendental level, then what happens? Whatever negativity we have in our subconscious mind, it merges, it vanishes in that transcendental level. And gradually, we get rid of all those stresses, strains, guilts, and complexes. And our mind becomes purer, and purest gradually. And what happens when our subconscious mind becomes clear and get rid of all those stresses, strains, guilts, complexes? Then mind becomes purest, transparent. So what happens now? Now it is free from all negativity. So whatever remains purity. So when in that level, when any thought emerges, it emerges with full clarity, full strength, and then it converts into right action without any deviation. And then whatever we do it holistically, completely. And then that thought which is pure, complete and holistic, converts into right action, and that's why brings result which is holistic and complete. So this is the process to make your thought convert into action and action into results. And this is how This is the secret. Meditation is the great secret to make your dreams come true. Dreams come true. And this is the basis of all action. A strong action which converts into right results. Now, this is the first step. And another step is when one realizes that what are other factors which influence the thought, which influence human psyche and human physiology. So then we come to next level. So that is called BOS-SthapatyaVed, Vedic Vastu Vidya. It tells when our physiology is aligned properly with magnetic field, when it is nourished with right radiations, when it is exposed with right colors, with right proportions, when it is accommodated in right placements, when it is exposed and aligned with all those things which are right, right ambience, right proportions, right colors, right magnetic field, right subjects all around. Subjects means all paintings and objects and subjects of all those things. All interior, what color should be in what proportion. All those factors which influences directly or indirectly, consciously or subconsciously, our human psyche and human physiology. So this is the next step which should be taken care of. Third step is how to keep, sustain, retain our physiology in best of it, so that our mind-body coordination is perfect, no deviation takes place, no ill health takes place. So for that, Ayurveda is a must. One must know how our physiology functions. If we know the biochemical structure of our body, in Ayurveda, it is observed by the observation of our physiological basic elements. Those are called Vata, Pitta and Kapha. And what is the Prakriti, what is the basic quality of our physiology. So accordingly, what should we eat in what season? What food, what juices, what quality of food one should take, what quality of fruits one should take, and what should be the pattern of eating of our body should be. So that will retain our physiology absolutely healthy, because in different seasons our body requires different things in different ways. And every physiology is very different. So this is the third thing which should be taken care of to make your dream come true. Because only thought and action won't do. Unless we are healthy physically, mentally, and we retain our physiology healthy and happy, blissful, then only our action can be converted into results. So these are very important factors which should be taken care of. And another factor is observing what type of things going to happen in our life. So like a good gardener knows that this is winter, this is not the time of mango. We'll have to wait for a few months, let the summer come, and then we'll get mangoes. Similarly, a good astrologer knows that this physiology, when one takes birth in a particular time, in particular combination of planets and constellation, etc. So this is the sequence in which development will take place. And this is very important field, and it is very scientific phenomena, as a gardener knows that this is how season changes, and accordingly different fruits will come on trees, and creepers and all that. So similarly, one astrologer knows that in this particular physiology, which took birth in this particular time, so all these calculations are there in astrology. So this is another type of knowledge, that this can happen because of this compositions, these things will happen. So one can take care of it. If rain is raining outside, we can't stop the rain. But a wise man can take an umbrella and can save oneself. So this is how things are there, but how to prevent it, how to take care of it, so that one is not negatively influenced. So this is another branch of knowledge. Now, suppose something is going to happen there. Then what are the factors which can neutralize those things? Like if we go to doctor, if we are suffering from weakness, and when one goes to doctor says your hemoglobin is weak, your energy level is weak. So whatever factors which are responsible to make you weak or to make you less energetic, so all these things are there because of lack of some chemicals, some nourishments. So a good doctor, a good nutrition expert supplements all those things by those particular chemicals and food values and nutritions, and one becomes healthy, energetic. So similarly, when one is going to be less nourished, or one is going to have deficiency of those chemicals, so there are many methods to supplement it. We can supplement it by food, we can supplement it by radiation, we can supplement it by sound, we can supplement it by chemicals which can be taken by breath, by aroma. Because through aroma also we breathe some good gases or good smell. And what is a smell? A smell is something which is good or bad. Why good or bad? Because those good smells, they create good hormones, good chemicals in body. If it's not good, then it's not creating good things in body. So there are many methods through which one can substitute the deficiency of body. So for all those things, all yagyas were there. In yagya, we use different, it is loban, it is til, it is barley, it is this and it is that. So these are different combinations through which one gets its camphor. So it's a good combination of materials. It is just like sanitization. Like we take care of sanitizing everything. This much percentage of alcohol should be there, and this particular chemical should be there. So what does it mean? It has some chemical value. So when we were performing yagyas, so those were the basic things which, if we go by studying, if we go to study those chemical combinations of all those things which are being used in yagya, then we'll be surprised to know that how precisely things were studied and taken care of, so that all those radiations, all those gases, all those particles which are generated by those yagyas, how precisely they are good enough for human food, human breathing. It's not like DDT, it is not like all those chemicals what we use to eliminate these all the insects and all that. If they are, if they fell in food items, it becomes poisonous. But in yajna, it is to be seen very carefully that how precisely all those chemical compositions were studied, that if those fumes and gases are exposed to your food value, then food becomes nourished. But insects go away. One gets rid of all those negative insects and this and that. This is how precision, it's not like that what we use to eliminate insects. It's like poison. If it falls in your food value, it becomes poisonous. But in yajna, in havana, in homa, whatever fume we are coming out, it was so nicely, thoroughly studied and observed that if those fumes were, if your food is exposed by all those things, it doesn't become poisonous, it becomes nourished. So if we breathe all those things, our breathing becomes nourished, our consciousness becomes purer. We must have seen, no? When we get all those herbal incense sticks, we feel more fresh by good smell and good odor. So there are many methods which were there in Vedic sciences which influences one's consciousness, one's psyche, and one's physiology so profoundly, so perfectly, which maintained the body, which sustained the body, which kept the body in the best of its health, happiness, and bliss. So these are very important branches of knowledge. If one takes care of, then all the dreams will come true. And of course, when simply, if we observe any creature of the nature, right? There are so many beautiful birds, which make so beautiful nest. We must have seen all birds making beautiful nests. Who teaches them? They don't go to College of Architecture to learn how to build a home. In what climate, in what place, on what tree. We must have seen beautiful nests, just hanging on the trees, kept on the right place of the tree. And they weave each and every part by small particles of grass and this and that. They weave in such a beautiful manner. Who teaches these birds to create such a beautiful nest? It means, that is said, knowledge is structured in consciousness. All the beautiful knowledge which is there, which is required in nature, it is imbibed within the self. The only thing is, because in the name of knowledge, we are deviated from natural laws. If we become aligned, absolutely perfectly aligned with those natural laws, then all those things which are naturally required, they are so enlivened in the purest level of consciousness, so that if one utilizes it, it is utilized flawlessly. And it can be verified by observing any nest of any bird. How beautiful technology they use. What type of grass, what type of things they should choose. They choose to weave, and how beautifully they weave one nest. So these things should be taken care of. And the simple solution is, and who tells the Siberian cranes to come from Siberia, from 5, 6, 7,000 kilometers to Rajasthan, to Bharatpur's bird sanctuary? Who tells them that this is the best place for their habitation, for their breeding, for... So it means that just in the name of so-called intelligentsia, so-called intellect, so-called education, how one human physiology is suffering a lot. One can see every bird, thousands and thousands pigeons, thousand and thousand birds, they fly together. And if we observe them, each bird is so beautifully clean. They don't go to beauty parlors. They don't go to, saloons and, all those parlors. How they are so beautifully clean. How they're each here. How their body is absolutely clean, maintained, healthy. Nobody is lethargic in that flock of 100,000 birds flying together. So because all those animal creatures, they are in perfect alliance with natural law and no interference of their so-called intellect. They are absolutely in alliance with natural law. So they are guided with... We must have seen many creatures, many insects, and they tell that it is going to rain. We all the experienced people, old people, they know that if this particular insect, this particular ant, this particular bird is behaving in this manner, this cow, if they are behaving in this manner, then this will happen. This time it's going to rain heavily, or some earthquake is coming, or something. So this is how they receive the natural signal very spontaneously. But why human physiology is suffering a lot by natural disasters? Because human physiology's consciousness is overlapped unnecessarily by so-called intellect. So if we remove all those stresses which are generated by those so-called burdens, so-called achievements, and we align ourselves more spontaneously with natural laws. And by those impulses, when we are absolutely aligned with natural law, then whatever impulses come, they will enliven and enlighten the consciousness, which will show our path clearly, spontaneously, and holistically. And this is something wonderful. This is how Siberia, cranes from Siberia, they come all the way, traveling more than 5,000 kilometers to Bharatpur, to Rajasthan, which is the best place for their habitation and for all their needs. So this is how many things are there. Of course, all the technological developments, everything should be utilized. But the main thing is, if we are enjoying it, if we are happy, we are blissful with it or not. That is the main thing. So if we become aligned with the natural laws, and then with all clearer mind, with strains, stresses, guilts and complexes, when we get rid of all those things, we have purer mind, purer consciousness. Then nature guides. Then nature guides. Like I am giving example of Siberian cranes, they travel all 5,000 kilometers. All those insects, all those animals, they behave. Then because human species, they are blessed with the intellect, with the science and technology, with the thought process, with their intellect, with their conscience. So then what will happen if we have all these modern technologies, modern achievements, but having all these achievements, we are seeing that hospitals are full of patients. People are suffering a lot. Why? Because having all these achievements, we made ourselves more complex, more stress, more in guilds and complexes. So the thing is, if we want to enjoy the accomplishments of human race, all these technological, scientific advancements, then what is the basic need? That, well, we have developed a lot in this field, but what we are lacking behind, that is going making distance from that pure consciousness, from pure natural laws, alignment with pure natural laws. So if we just become aware of that in the name of intellect, we indulge ourselves in more scientific and technological development, but basis of all those things is pure consciousness, and we forgot to develop that, to clear that, to make that more purer. So now, if we make those basic fundamental of our life, that consciousness, and how the consciousness influenced by all those factors which I said earlier, if we take care of all those things, then whatever we dream, it can come true by taking care of that. Because technologically, scientifically, we are more developed a lot, but we are unable to enjoy that, to be with that more happily, more blissfully. That's why we see suffering all around. So how to get rid of that? These are the branches of knowledge which influence a person, and if we take care of it, then we'll become more healthy, more blissful, more happy to enjoy all the technological and scientific development of human race. And all the dreams will come true by taking care of all these branches of Vedic science. And this is something wonderful we should be taken care of, to go thoroughly, holistically and completely, to think big, to act in perfect manner, and to accomplish whatever one desires. That is called Sankalp Matrin Siddhiti. And another thing is Yatinam Brahma Bhavati Sarathi. It means when we are in pure consciousness, when we develop pure consciousness, when we eliminate all those negativities, and when we are aligned with that pure consciousness, so then Yatinam Brahma Bhavati Sarathi. Then that consciousness which is running the universe guides every consciousness in a holistic manner, in a spontaneous manner. Then one is guided rightly, holistically and completely, and accomplishes whatever one desires.